let me talk to you a little bit about what a false water table is and what it does to your foundation. What causes basements to get wet, what causes a lot of different things, walls to deteriorate, what causes floors to crack, is what's called a false water table. It's called false because it's temporary. It only lasts for 10 days or 2 weeks, and it's weather driven. You get a good heavy rain and the area on the outside of your walls, what we call the backfill area, fills up with water. If I could explain that, when they build your house, on the outside of your walls is empty for probably about 8 feet, and it's all the way around your entire foundation. Then they take the dirt that was dug out of the hole and they bring it over and they backfill it. You've heard the term backfill before, but that soil's been rolled over, bulldozed, and piled up. It's lost a lot of its density, so when they put it back, even though they tamp it down, it never gets as dense as the existing soil. So what we call that is soft pan clay, and then the undisturbed soil, we call it a hard pan clay. Now, hard pan clay doesn't absorb water all that well. When it rains, water will go down into it and travel through the hard pan clay, and it travels through a network of capillaries and veins that have formed over years and years and years and years. But what happens is the soft pan clay that's surrounding your foundation, all that water dumps into it, and it'll fill up higher and higher depending on how much rain that we've gotten. And the higher it fills up, the more pressure it puts on pushing in against your walls. That's why it's a great idea to have your floor over and holding the walls out. When you put a system in like we've just taken out, you've taken that support of the floor away from the walls, and it lends itself to possibly cracking. The other thing that a false water table does is as it gets higher, the water on the outside forces its way down into the ground and up underneath your floor. And a lot of people see that they have a lot of cracking in their floor, and if you ask them, they'll say, oh, that's settling. That's not settling. Actually, it's hydrostatic pressure has pushed and has cracked that floor. The whole reason that you have a water issue in your basement, 98% of the time, is because of that false water table on the outside of your walls. Now, if you have a drainage system that's supposed to keep your basement dry and it only has this much drainage to it, like the one that we just took out, it's going to do nothing to facilitate or expedite or speed up the dropping of that water table on the outside of your walls. But if you get a good amount of drainage like we've just installed here, you're going to be able to expedite the dropping of that water table, getting that stress off of your walls and having it never come up and even touch the bottom of your floor. We've talked about concrete being porous. The waterproofing on the outside of your walls usually deteriorates after 3, 4, or 5 years, and then you're getting that absorption of water into your walls again. Now, when water absorbs into concrete from your backfill area, it pulls a little bit of the soil in with it, and that soil, the soils in the Northeast is notorious for having a little bit of an acidic quality to it. Well, that'll be absorbed into your walls. Concrete is made of sandstone and lime. Lime's the glue, it's the adhesive. Lime and acid are opposite ends of that pH scale. And that's what that white powder is formed. That's actually the lime being leached out of your concrete wall. So the whole theme of what I'm referring to now is the quicker you can get rid of that false water table that builds up on the outside of your foundation and underneath your floor, the less stress is on your foundation. If you can control that false water table, you can slow down the entire aging process of your whole foundation. The waterproofing system that you put in has a lot to do with the overall aging process of your entire house, because if you do get movement in your walls move and crack a little bit, your house will twist and turn and resettle to the new position of your cracked or moved foundation, and that causes warped flooring, windows to get out of alignment, and even your walls can pull from the roof and then moisture gets in and cause roof problems. A lot of people don't realize that the vast majority of roof problems start down in your basement from movement in your foundation.